Ladies and gentlemen, is the Gift of Gaming podcast, and June has slowly faded away as we enter July. And that's right, it's time for the news. Play the music.
It scared me a little.
All right, it's me, your host, Darren Wade, and today I'm joined by the news team supreme, the gamer formerly known as Mr. Xbox Games Pass himself, Luke Maycock, and of course the console-hating, PC-playing, North-seeking, full-time Canadian himself, Chris Robbins. Gentlemen, welcome aboard.
What up?
What's going on?
Are we well?
Yeah.
Yeah, we doing all right?
Wide awake now after that intro. Feeling good? Feeling ready to report the news?
I didn't mean to scare you so much, Luke. I just thought we'd step right into it.
Play the music.
Luke, what are you playing anything? What are you playing right now?
I have to think about that. Oh, I'm playing a bit of Baldur's Gate 3. And I got the audio setup working on my Steam Deck well. So I got microphone working, good headset. So I'm ready to play some multiplayer games.
Oh, from the Steam Deck. Interesting.
We're going to jump into a bit of Phasmophobia and maybe Lethal Company too.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Phasmophobia, Lethal Company, and maybe Peak, because that's popping off now. €7 game. Looks very funny. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Maybe. I don't. It's the Steam summer sale right now, and it's not on sale, so it's kind of tough to.
Oh, yeah. To invest in something that's not on sale. What is Peak?
Peak is the new genre is being called Friend Slop game, where it's just multiplayer. It's up to 4, I think, people, and you just are trying to climb a mountain together, climb a series of mountains together, and you have a stamina bar, and you have to help. It's built in a way where you have to help each other, so you have to like give people hands to climb up rocks, and it's all based around a physics engine and stamina, and it creates a lot of funny situations where you have to rely on each other a lot. And you have to like play skillfully in order to progress.
I don't know.
Hard to describe, but it's some funny. I'll show you some clips later. It's,
do.
Relying on other people just kind of gives me PTSD about Pico Park. That shit just, I get so angry. Well.
I can still see it in your eyes, Chris.
Chris is flashbacking in the chair.
Yeah. And what about you, Chris?
Playing a little bit of Balatro here and there. And a whole lot of Silent Hill 2 remake.
Nice. You've settled in then.
Yep. Just about done it, I think. Maybe a couple hours left, but it seems like it's wrapping up.
And did you say you thought Silent Hill 1 was a scarier game, right?
I mean, Silent Hill 1 was terrifying. I think some of that has to do with the controls and the camera. It's I don't want to say it's like Resident Evil, like the old Resident Evils, but it's very similar. Mm-hmm. And like just fighting and hitting stuff in the originals was kind of like, it was scary just to like think of, oh man, I might have to fight this thing, because it was just kind of difficult, and like the ammo was scarce, and I don't know, something about that added to the terror. Whereas this game has the stereotypical, like the over-the-shoulder angle that we see so often with these horror games now. And they also give you this, like, the melee weapon super early. It's just a plank of wood with nails. And once you give me that with a good camera angle and some clean controls, then I become what's feared in the game, right? Yeah.
They're locked in here with me.
Silent Hill's my turf now.
It's like, it's the guy with the plank and the nail. Everybody run.
But it is unsettling. Like, they did a fucking fantastic job.
Good. I heard that Konami had a showcase during the week, and I think they've confirmed.
Everyone had a showcase. There was a Capcom showcase,
but Konami confirmed Silent Hill 1 remake as well.
Interesting.
So you might get exactly what you wanted.
Well, Silent Hill 2 was always the best one.
Yeah. I think it's the only one I finished. I don't think I finished any of the Silent Hills. I was too scared.
What are you playing yourself at the moment?
I'm dabbling in Balatro.
Nice.
Nice.
Which is...
Want a pro tip?
Yeah.
High card is the best hand you can play.
High card is the best hand I can play?
Yeah.
Just playing the high card?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Because you can completely break the game. You never have to discard anything. You can get the nuttiest jokers. You can get like... pretty much infinitely stacking mults.
So I would say yes, that'd be a good pro tip, because I'm early game and I don't have a great selection of jokers. I think that would be Balatro suicide for me right now. It's just playing a high card. But when I get all my multis, Chris, I'll get in there. But it's funny because I only played it really I got really into it in the DLC for Dave the Diver. That's how I played Balatro, essentially. And I played a fucking ton of it within Dave the Diver. But
that's so cool.
Graham we share PlayStation profiles. So he had Balatro, so I downloaded that. And he also got Death Stranding 2, which I have also downloaded.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to get into that, but I'm going to start it and see. Great reviews.
Shouldn't you at least play? Well, the first one got good reviews too.
The first one got decent reviews, yes, but I hated the first one so much.
And you think this one's going to be different?
I've been told it's slightly different. What I'm keen for is that the game, apparently graphically, and I've seen screenshots and stuff like that, looks phenomenal. And I kind of want to finally play a game, or at least maybe not like play it through, but play a game that was designed for PlayStation 5 in a way that like I don't think games really have been to date, you know. Horizon as DLC was an incredibly good looking game, but since that, like, games have been looked great, but I don't think the PS5's full potential has been reached, whereas this one looks like it might do. And also I've been playing, which is a game I have slept on, but I've been playing it since the Switch 2, is Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, of course.
I am fucking in love with that game right now.
Yeah, great game.
I went to the first village that you're meant to go to, where you're kind of told what happened 100 or 10,000 years ago, and you go through like the little valley in the rocks. And I was kind of traveling through the night, and I arrived into the town at like 11:30 was the time, and I just wandered around for a little bit. But then they told me you have to speak to the wise one of the village. I was like, cool. So I knocked on her doors and like crashed into her house at like midnight. And I was thinking to myself, wow, this must be like a prophecy. You know, when the clock strike 12s, the hero, I was like making my own shit for this. So I rocked into the town, was talking to her, and then like slept on it, went to the inn, slept on it, woke up and was just visiting everybody, talking to everybody. And now I know my next general like part of the quest. But it is such a fucking chill game. Holy hell.
So good.
And
So good.
And it's great that I am getting to play it on the Switch 2 for the first time in that like 60 frames per second. Draw distance is great. Graphically, it's very clean. But yeah, I can't believe I never played that game. Mind-blowing
game. And a lot of people kind of, Craig is the exception, but a lot of people these days are panning Tears of the Kingdom by comparison to Breath of the Wild. But I think, Breath of the Wild is just top tier game. I'm so glad you're playing it. You're gonna enjoy it so much.
Yeah, just is so chill. So that's kind of me. I'm thinking, is there anything else that I keep dipping into Claire Obscure Expedition 33 to finish off the last like end dungeon things, but like that's just going to be me, I think, for forever until I just finish the game, I guess.
Good game.
Game of the year, great game. One of the best games I think I've ever played. I was chatting to Kev last night and we were watching YouTube videos of the two endings, because like you get like there's an ending, you kind of choose the ending in a way. There's two options to choose, and Craig and Kev picked one and I picked this other, and you know, we were talking about, like, they were like, I can't believe you picked that ending, blah blah, because they've watched both now, they've seen both. Now my ending made perfect sense. I was like, this was a great ending to this game. To me, this is the only ending. And then Kev convinced me to watch the other one, so I watched it last night with him, and we were discussing it, and I was like, your ending sucks. How is this the one? But it's interesting how it like provokes such a conversation, because we were talking about, like, because it is like there's lots of intricacies. It's all about grief. Do you know what I mean? About dealing with grief, or in the case of one ending, maybe not dealing with your grief correctly, all that kind of stuff. Okay. And it was we had such a long chat last night.
Did he think his ending was great?
He liked his ending, and the thing about my ending, I don't want to go into spoilers in case you guys ever play it, but my ending is kind of, people think it's cruel, but I think it's kind, and it has closure. But Kev loved his ending, but I'm watching it last night again, and me with him, and me kind of like pointing out a few bits. I think he was like, oh damn, yeah, this is pretty like mean or bad or like just whatever. So I think he might have leaned a little bit less towards it than he did on his first viewing. But I was watching it being like, this is horrific. Like, I'm so glad I got the other ending. But they're both sad. They're both not like they've come out and said there is no true ending for the game, and both endings are kind of like bad endings.
Yeah, it's tough when like all the endings are just like Cyberpunk had so many endings, and none of them were just like, I don't feel great about this.
I actually loved my ending in Cyberpunk.
I love the endings, but none of them are like,
no, it wasn't happy
endings.
Like Disney style, everybody's okay at the end of it. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, enough chit chat. We have news to cover. We have things to get through today. And Luke, you put up a funny one on the chat the other day, so I'll go through that one first. This is a Borderlands 4 Collector's Edition. This is coming from...
I put that one.
Sorry, Chris... Thank you for that. Luke, shut up. You didn't recommend anything.
I didn't say anything.
Stop telling us to recommend this, Luke. It's nothing to do with you. Chris, way to go, man.
Give me credit. I want credit.
So, Chris, this is what you put up, the Borderlands 4 Collector's Edition. This is coming from Games Radar Plus by Issy van der Velde. Borderlands 4 just can't stop annoying fans, and it's not even out yet. First, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford said real fans would be able to shell out $80 for the game, even though it's ended up being $70. And now it turns out the Collector's Edition that doesn't come with a copy of the game isn't even the Collector's Edition. It's all way more confusing than it needs to be. Pitchford previously tweeted details of the, quote, Collector's Edition of Borderlands 4 available for pre-order at GameStop. He added that it was pretty rad and will probably sell out, so grab it if you're into it. It comes with an Echo 4 statue, vault symbol necklace, art prints, map of Kairos, and a code for 5 golden keys in Borderlands 4. What it doesn't come with is the game itself, even though it costs $150. So if you want that and the game, you're going to have to spend at least $220. Naturally, a fan asks, quote, wait, why doesn't this include the game? The official Gearbox account replies, the Echo 4 bundle was mislabeled as Borderlands 4 Collector's Edition. This has been corrected on the website. So this isn't the Collector's Edition, just a pricey bundle with physical items and art, exactly what you'd expect to find in a Collector's Edition. And as far as I can tell, there isn't an official Collector's Edition out yet. The closest thing is this Echo 4 bundle, and the most expensive version of the game itself is $130 Super Deluxe Edition, which comes with more missions, more Vault Hunters, and more goodies. Randy Pitchford hasn't really been nailing this whole pre-Borderlands 4 launch, huh?
It's not sticking the landing.
It's tough.
No.
It is, yeah, it's a bit wild. And I was pretty, taken back when I first read this. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here a bit because I did spend a bit of time on Reddit finding out if this was true, that it actually doesn't come with the game. And apparently this is a bit more of a common practice than we realize. There's been quite a few games that do this, and the reason is a bunch of hardcore fans may want some memorabilia, some physical stuff that they can put on their shelves and just get stoked about, but they also want to play the game right at fucking midnight when it releases, so they'll end up they'd rather have a digital copy and have it preloaded so they can play right away instead of waiting for any sort of physical product to get shipped to them. So in that sense, I guess that makes it's still expensive. I mean, if you want memorabilia, I'd rather just go on Etsy and find some truly passionate fan built stuff, because
badass 3D printer or something. To make it
because I guarantee this stuff is
but
garbage.
Are they quoted as collector's editions, though? Those are the ones that you talk about where it's kind of commonplace for games not to be included. Are they considered collector's editions? Is that how they're
I don't really ever pay attention to the titles.
Yeah, true.
What does the title mean? Does collector's edition mean it has to include XXX? Or
my rationale is that, collector's edition does mean it has to include the game because it's the collector's edition of the game. Yeah. It's an edition of...
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
The language there. So
it's not like Swag Box or something like
that. Yeah, if you have... And they're coming out now and saying that was a mislabeling. Fair enough. But, that was what rubbed me the wrong way initially, where I was like, collector's edition, I'd think, okay, how does that compare to the standard edition? And even on that Reddit post, I think we might have read the same one. Some people were reading through it being like, oh yeah, collector's edition, it doesn't come with the game. Surely it comes with a digital code so you can pre-order it, so you can pre-install it, before midnight, and then you just have to enter the code or whatever. No, it doesn't even come with that. So, big marketing blunder from Gearbox.
Luke, it's pretty rad. And will probably sell out.
It's pretty rad. I used to think, I don't know why I had this in my head, but I used to think Randy Pitchford was maybe just great marketing, but I used to think he was a really cool dude and was very with one of those kind of CEOs where he was one of the fans.
I think previously he was. Andrew's a massive fan of Borderlands. He's played them all. We played through Borderlands 2 together back in the day. I didn't really step onto 3, but Andrew's always been in it. But he put in a message on the chat there. I'll see if I can bring it up, of how angry he was at what Randy Pitchford was saying.
Yeah. It's just money. You get greedy, man. More money, more problems.
Yeah, Andrew was just kind of saying his take on gamers boils his blood for the most part, or at least his new take on gamers, that the real fans will have $80 to shell out on this. Is there's no awareness of that there's there could be real gamers, but they just don't have the money to spend $80 in your game, and it's kind of dismissive in a sense.
I think he kind of shot himself in the foot with his comment of being real fans will shell out the $80, because then when Gearbox walked it back and repriced it at $70, it made Randy look like he was really out of touch with what the game is worth.
Yeah.
So now Gearbox are saying, oh, you should pay $80 for it. And it's like, okay, well, maybe you don't have to pay $80 for it. Maybe
Because
we can,
70, yeah.
we can get away with selling it at 70 and just makes them look cheap and like they're like money
real
grabbing.
fans and
Yeah.
shit.
Oh.
Yeah. And
I
it's-
hope nobody buys it and then he realizes there are no real fans because he's a dick.
Oh no.
And it's reviewing really well, supposedly.
Yeah.
In its pre-release, whatever. I'm kind of outside the Borderlands infrastructure. Really, I'm not into it anymore. The movie looked like it was an absolute fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I played one of the Borderlands once, and I played it for like 8 hours straight one night with a couple buddies, and it's just like
Borderlands 2 probably.
Yeah, it kind of just ruined my brain. Like,
Never been the same since.
no, it was a low point in my life, that's for sure. But and just the cartoony colors, it's fun to look at for a bit, but like you stare at a screen too long when it's designed like that, I get like super flush, and it's also just like you're just grinding for loot.
It's a real like a looter shooter. It is like
OG looter shooter.
looter shooter, essentially. Like you know.
Yeah.
Chris, you said you had a surprise article.
I do. This one just started popping up in my feed quite a bit last night, and I had to do some fact checking because, I mean, one of the claims was pretty fucking wild to me.
Okay.
But I mean, this is being reported by the most reputable I've seen is probably Rolling Stone.
Mm-hmm.
But we have not the full cast, but we have a current cast for the new 2026 Street Fighter movie.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is this going to be an outrageous cast? Chris?
We'll get there. I mean, we have some all right ones. Like we have Alan Richardson, Jack Reacher.
Oh
That
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He's playing Guile.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
We have, I think his name's Roman Reigns. He's this like angry looking wrestler. He's playing.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
He's playing
Big
Akuma.
WWE guy.
Nice.
We have Jason Momoa as Blanca.
Jason Momoa's Blanca. Okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
all right.
Yeah.
But it there's a bunch of names I'm not familiar with, like the Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li. But it has, what is his name? Andrew Schulz as Dan. And I'm not a big Schulz fan.
Andrew Schulz, that's the comedian, isn't it?
Yeah, the part of that whole like comedy mothership kind of like Kill Tony crew. I'm just not a fan, but he is kind of a goofy and hateable person, and that's what Dan's supposed to be. But here's the big one that made me think that all of this is just a fucking lie. Playing Balrog, we have 50 Cent.
No.
Yeah, 50 Cent.
50 Cent?
50 Cent's playing Balrog.
Hell yeah. Get rich or die trying? Yeah. That's my Balrog.
Oh, sweet Jesus, no.
It just, I don't know, man.
And this has been reported by Rolling Stone.
Well, it's being reported by everyone, but yeah, Rolling Stone's one of the ones that like kind of made me realize that like, oh shit, this might be real.
That's crazy because it smacks like one of those YouTube videos where it's like real cast for whatever Lord of the Rings remake revealed, and you go in and it's just like celebrities and clips from other movies all edited together to make it look like they're doing a trailer for.
I was on. Funny you should mention this because I didn't know if any of it was true, but I saw who they cast for Chun-Li, and I think there's a subreddit called Gaming Circle Jerk where I think they just put up like all the stupid things that the gaming community like talk about in terms of like how awful it can be sometimes. And this person posted a screenshot of the actress playing Chun-Li, who is Asian in descent, beside a picture of Chun-Li from the games, who is Asian by descent or whatever else. And I think they put up, I guess they just, and like in fairness, I think in the more modern Street Fighter, maybe they look less like that in the game than they maybe would have used to. I'm saying this to try and
how are you going to
defend.
get somebody that looks like Chun-Li?
No, but this is the thing. It's the fact that someone came in and was like, here we go, more of this woke bullshit. And I was like, but she's Asian. Like her levels, like street vendors in China. Like I don't know.
Her name is Chun-Li, dude.
I was like, is that have we reached critical mass of like bullshittery or stupidity? Like, you know. Yeah. Thanks for that, Chris. I'm gonna have nightmares of the idea of 50 Cent playing Balrog.
Jason Momoa's Blanca kind of like weirded me out at first, and then I started thinking more and more. I'm like, I don't know who else you'd get.
I think he could probably do it. My worry about like because Balrog's meant to be like massively tall as well. 50 Cent isn't like a super tall dude. Like He's.
I think he is
also
quite
not
big.
even really.
Oh, is he?
I think so. Yeah, he was in that show Power a few years back. Hold on.
Was he in something? That's my other concern. Is like,
Yeah, he's done some acting gigs.
He did. He was in Straight. Was 50 Cent Straight Outta Compton? Was he part of that?
No, I don't think
no.
so. Oh, he's like 6 foot. Oh.
The other thing that kind of hurts is M. Bison being played by anyone other than Mike Tyson in a world where Mike Tyson's still alive. But I get it. Like, he's kind of. I think his acting days might be over.
Yeah, I think for sure his acting days are over. Yeah,
but like M. Bison is not M. Bison. His original name was M. Bison, but they had to change it because they were worried about the legal issues because he's literally a clone of Mike Tyson.
M. Bison.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson.
So they had to switch all their names around.
Oh, well, that could be an interesting film. Do you think they can pull off a good Street Fighter movie, Chris?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's time.
Time for a good one, like as opposed to all the other ones.
No, I think they could get some actual like Shoryukens and Hadoukens in there and like make
Looking
it
cool.
look good. Yeah, I think it all boils down to the story though, and like fighting games have always had batshit crazy stories. So you have to come up with something original and still make it good somehow. And
not exactly believable, but like grounded in a way that you can go and watch it and say, okay, I'm into this.
Yeah.
Which is a story you can follow, like.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched a good fighting movie in a long, long time. I don't really see.
Has there ever been the first Mortal Kombat was a banger, but I don't think there's ever been a good fighting or movie based on
a fighting video game.
Oh wait, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about like a fighting movie, like Southpaw or Warriors, or one of those movies where there's lots of fights in the plot. Like this guy goes into one bracket against all these guys, and this guy, like Warriors, is the Tom Hardy film where two brothers are in separate brackets going up through this big MMA tournament and fighting off the whole way up, and then they fight at the top.
It's always fucking MMA these days too. Like the whole martial arts master fantasy is dead. We'll never see it again. It sucks.
Possibly, but yeah, I haven't. It's been a long time since and that like a movie like Warriors is done really well. It's like a movie where you have lots of individual fights in it that all builds towards one narrative like peak. But I don't know how you do that with such a diverse cast of like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, so I think
like
that's where it gets a bit tough in terms of what I think. I can see there being good films where you're focused on a single individual fighter, like the Rockies or what was
the Bruce Lee films.
Yeah. But when you're following a group of people, and I'm sure like Ryu Ken being the focus, I guess maybe you could try.
Will they be the focus? They've made a Street Fighter movie before, and it was fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme. All-American soldier played by a Belgium guy.
Oh, I
didn't even try to like fix his accent.
I couldn't stand that movie, and it's funny because that was at a time where I was enjoying playing whatever version of Street Fighter was on at that stage, and I was like, I hate Street Fighter now. This is ruined Street Fighter for me. Well, thanks for that, Chris. That's an interesting and slightly scary cast for Street Fighter, but we'll wait and see. This next one's kind of feel good because after this, it's not so feel good after this story. So here's the fun stuff. Tango Gameworks reopens. This is coming from Vicky Blake at IGN. Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameswork has unveiled its new look website and confirmed it's working on an unannounced action game. The site, which shows new branding and a careers page recruiting for new roles for an unannounced project, states Tango Gamesworks' core mission is to, quote, create new games and expand intellectual properties as an independent development studio based in Tokyo, Japan. And this is all under the Krafton umbrella. In May 2024, Microsoft announced that it had closed a number of Bethesda studios, including Tango Gamesworks and Redfall's Arcane Austin. The news was met with shock and anger by developers and fans alike, especially after Microsoft executive Aaron Greenberg had previously said Hi-Fi Rush was, quote, breakout hit for Xbox and its players in all key measurements and expectations. Publisher Krafton then acquired Tango Gamesworks and the Hi-Fi Rush IP from Microsoft back in 2024, saving the studio from being shut down. Krafton shared the news in a press release alongside confirming that as part of this strategic agreement, Krafton intends to collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango Gamesworks, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. Quote, finally, after months of waiting, Tango Gamesworks is back and in a brand new way, the studio's new website states. We've opened our site to give our fans and future team members a look into our studio. Here you can learn about the studio philosophy as well as see featurettes from members of the team. Since joining Krafton, Tango Gameswork embarks on a new chapter, developing titles that resonate with players around the world. The company added, "We remain dedicated to the creation and growth of distinctive and new IPs, taking on challenges to be a unique voice in the game industry." Tango added that its vision set is centered on a studio that acts like a creative workshop, making games and experiences that emphasize that handmade feel that we put into our work. As for what the new game may be, that's difficult to call right now. A news post published earlier today says Tango, quote, aren't ready to reveal much yet, but there's a number of positions open for early work on an unannounced action game. The positions span almost every department, so if you're interested in working with the team behind such hit releases as Hi-Fi Rush, read up on our studio philosophy. According to a machine translation of the senior level design position, Tango is looking for someone with, quote, experience developing 3D action games in Unreal Engine 5. The cutscene manager job similarly calls for 3D action game experience, but doesn't give us any other clues for now. Could it be Hi-Fi Rush 2? That's nice. They seem to be settling themselves in for a possible future, we hope.
Yeah.
Oh, Luke, you have thoughts, man.
No, it just, I know this is like a bit of good news, but it just reminds me of, well, so two things. One, it just reminds me of all the Xbox closures that happened, which is a massive bummer. Two, you mentioned there that Arcane Austin was shut down. I don't know how I missed that, but I didn't know Arcane Austin was shut down.
Were we not talking about that? They were the guys who did Redfall. Remember we were talking about like that vampire game? Then
we did talk about it, but when we talked about it, it was in the context of Phil Spencer coming out and saying how they would never punish a studio for having a bum game like that, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh, they punished the studio
at the time. They should have.
It was ages later, though.
It was a year later. I just was looking it up while you were saying that. It was a year after Redfall came out. They shut down Arcane Austin.
Oh, and Luke, you know, one of these stories. Maybe I should read it next. So we've got some things to go up on, but we're looking at some more Xbox layoffs.
Down the barrel. I'm just gonna have my head in my hands for this episode.
Yeah.
That look to get back onto topic of the story. That's great news. I love that they're like having a go at it again. I also love that they're like kind of doing the salty run back of like using the exact same name. It's like, no, there was nothing wrong with us. We were the problem in that equation.
No,
let's do it. Let's do our thing. I think that's cool as hell, and I want them to. I never played Hi-Fi Rush, but I heard it was great. I want them to keep bringing out bagger games.
Have the rights to Hi-Fi Rush or Microsoft? Probably Microsoft.
Microsoft
right?
definitely do. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
That's how that works.
Ugh. Yep. So it might not be Hi-Fi Rush 2.
Be lo-fi chill.
Just look at the direct sequel, like, you know, just slightly changed graphics,
exactly
whatever.
Yeah, but they could. I mean, it'd probably be silly to take on Microsoft, but they could make Microsoft look even shittier if they did come up with a Hi-Fi Rush 2. All the fans would want it, obviously, and the only thing standing in the way would be Microsoft, the studio that squeezed them out of existence, holding on to the rights that they're not going to use.
Yeah, they'll never touch that.
It could be a great revenge thing for. But no, yeah, I'm up for Lo-Fi Chill.
And as quoted, what was that they said? It was a breakout hit for Xbox and its players in all key measurements and expectations. That's what Microsoft and Xbox said. Oh, well, I'm glad they're back. I'm glad. That's a feel-good story. What I will do is, before I go into the real sad story, we'll do a small little article here. The rest of this news item is all Xbox, by the way. It was a heavy news month for Xbox. This next one's coming from Polygon. It's about Xbox and the Meta Quest 3 from Michael McWhirter. This VR headset is an Xbox. It's a Meta Quest 3S, but also an Xbox. Xbox and Meta have teamed up to release the Meta Quest 3S Xbox Edition, which the company says the first ever limited edition Quest headset. The collaboration isn't quite proof that Xbox is embracing VR and mixed reality. It's being released to, quote, celebrate the experience of Xbox cloud gaming on MetaQuest, the company says. The MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition will be available for $400 in limited quantities. The bundle will include Meta's Quest 3D headset with 128 gigabytes of storage in, quote, Xbox Carbon Black and Velocity Green, matching Touch Plus controllers, an Xbox wireless controller, and a 3-month Xbox Games Pass Ultimate membership. MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition will be sold from Xbox.com, Best Buy in the US, and Argos and EE in the UK. The partnership may appear on its face like an unusual move at this stage of the Xbox business, but the standalone MetaQuest 3S has been capable of playing Xbox Game Pass games for the past 18 months. In December 2023, Microsoft and Meta brought the beta version of the Xbox Cloud Gaming app to Quest platforms. Quest owners can play titles like Forza Motorsport, Starfield, and Hi-Fi Rush on the headset's virtual display. without the need to hog the living room TV. Now Xbox Cloud gaming players have a headset to call their own with black and green branding, and Microsoft can get a sense of just how many more players might be interested in playing Xbox games through a headset. So, add the Meta Quest 3S to the list of devices that can legitimately be called an Xbox. Meta and Microsoft first announced plans to release a limited edition Meta Quest inspired by Xbox last year. Microsoft has previously flirted with bringing VR and mixed reality to its Xbox platforms. In 2017, Microsoft committed to bringing mixed reality content to Project Scorpio, the console that will later be released as the Xbox One X. VR is now an Xbox.
Is Xbox done with hardware? Like, are they just not going to make any of their own?
They're going to get everyone else to make shit for it.
So supposedly for the next console generation they're in for, I think it's quite unclear as to after that, really, based on, I mean, we talked about this, Luke, how weird their strategy is. Yeah. So like they are still making consoles, but like you're right. I mean, I want them to make consoles because I think there needs to be a competitor in the market. Otherwise, PlayStation
just run away with it or do their own thing.
Just do their own thing. It could become more expensive, less innovative. So I hope that they stay in the console market. But staying in the console market is kind of against their plan, really, I suppose, just to make everything an Xbox.
Even though they are insisting they will be staying in the console market. This story also sucks. I'm going to be so anti-Microsoft for this episode. This is so annoying.
But you're the gamer formerly known as Mr. Xbox Games Pass himself, Luke.
Formerly known. I'm going to be in a different corner for the console wars next year. Oh, God. I looked it up while you were reading the story.
Team Steam.
Yeah, Team Steam. I looked up the actual console while you were reading that out, looked at pictures of it. It is... Because my curiosity was piqued. Maybe this means Microsoft is interested in going in the VR direction, but everything you read in that article doesn't suggest that. It just suggests that you'd be playing games on a virtual screen in VR, which I hate the idea of. Yeah. I don't see the point in that at all. I get it if you have like a shortage of screens to play on in your house, you can play on your headset. And
it's funny. Remember when I was putting this article together, and I was reading the bit where it was like, without the need to hog the living room TV, and I just have this image of like two people sitting in a living room, one person like watching TV, and the other person, it's I think you guys won't be able to see me, but the other people like Stevie Wonder in it, like in the seat beside them. I was like, that just seems like a weird future, I guess.
It is weird, and I'm trying to figure out like what are the households that don't have enough screens to play on but can afford a VR headset.
Yeah.
Like that's a wild concept.
It's cheaper than I thought it would be.
Yeah, 400 quid is good. I can't find it for
Well, that's because it's still Meta.
Yeah, it's still well Meta have pushed up their prices recently, like in a big way for their headsets, because their headsets were loss leaders for them for a really long time. I got a Meta Quest 2 a couple of years back for like 340 quid, 330 quid, which is insanely cheap given the hardware that's in that. But
just have to sell your soul.
Yep, my soul belongs to Meta now.
It's in the VR headset.
This is more annoying to me because Microsoft were one of the first at the forefront of the like VR trend, not specifically with VR, but with AR. Do you remember the HoloLens?
Yes.
That looked class. That looked so exciting. And it was like, wow, Microsoft are really pushing this in an interesting direction. They had this big HoloLens Minecraft demo where like they had a Minecraft world that you could like walk, like look around, like rotate with your hands and like view it from different angles and stuff. But to think that we'd go on, like that was maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
To think that we'd go 10 years into the future and not only have Microsoft not done anything in VR, but the best that they can come up with is painting a Facebook headset black and putting the Xbox logo on the side.
And calling it an Xbox.
I hate it, man. I hate it.
Wow.
Oh, that sucks.
Chris, you look like a man that's going to pick up the Quest 3S.
No. No.
Have you ever been a VR guy?
I want to try it. The problem is I think I might be one of those types that would just get the motion sickness. So I don't want to like sink all that money into
and then just not be able to use it.
Because I would also go for like a proper, I shouldn't say proprietary, but I'd go for a headset where I'm not selling all my personal data.
Mm-hmm. You could borrow mine for a bit if you want.
Luke's already sold his personal data, so it'll all be under Luke's personal data, so you'll be fine. You'll be free.
Meta would probably know it's not Luke. But
Hello,
unidentified
hello, Chris.
user. Yeah,
Oh god. You log on for the first time.
It took you long enough.
We expected you.
Yeah, I would just flush it.
Chris,
Sorry,
my
Luke,
headset.
this is for the best.
Okay, we're going to go into. I'll save. I don't know if any of these stories are going to be fun ones, but we'll go into the real tough one now. This is Xbox layoffs from Push Square, Sammy Barker. Employees at virtually every studio are worried. Major layoffs at Xbox expected next week. This came out 3 days ago. Yeah, so it's this week we might expect these. Industry whispers suggest Microsoft could be poised to lay off up to 2,000 employees across Xbox as soon as next week. Bloomberg's extremely reliable Jason Schreier first reported on the major job cuts earlier this week when he cited sources familiar with the company's plans. According to his write-up, it's expected to be big and there will be substantial cuts across the entire group. The Verge has since followed up on the story, claiming the trillion-dollar company is set to restructure Xbox distribution across Central Europe, which will result in some operations ceasing in some regions. Xbox sales have been catastrophic in some European countries for quite some time, with one recent report pegging Spanish sales of the Xbox Series X and S at 12,000 units for the period spanning 1st January to 8th of June. The PS5 sold 178,000 units during the same time frame. Writing on X, or Twitter, 3 Realms co-founder George Broussard said he's, quote, hearing internal developer level stuff where people at virtually every studio are anxious and worried, and that entire teams could be shuttered. Expectations are 1,000 to 2,000 people, he said. I think the Xbox unit has about 10,000 people in it, so 10 to 20%. Good luck to all involved. Brutal. This follows heavy layoffs in January and May of last year as the division has been facing pressure from upper management to boost profit margins since its unprecedented near $70 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Of course, this will all impact PlayStation in an attempt to improve its income, Microsoft has started bringing virtually all of its major franchises to PS5, including Forza Horizon 5 and Gears of War Reloaded. Thus far, these games have been selling very well to Sony stalwarts, but it seems like the division is still creaking under the weight of its unfathomable acquisitions, slumping hardware sales, and stagnant subscription services like Xbox Games Pass. We'll update as soon as we know the extent of the layoffs, but sadly, it's not looking good right now. Why did they buy Activision Blizzard, Luke?
Call of Duty, pretty much.
But yeah, and it's man, I would have walked away from that deal. Like with the fact that can't be exclusive for the next 10 years or 9 years, maybe at this stage, also means that I don't know whether that's
done with exclusives. Anyways, aren't they?
Well, Xbox are done with exclusives because it sounds like financially they have to be done with exclusives. I don't think Sony is in the same category at all. Like I know that they are. Like we got like in the last Xbox showcase, we got Final Fantasy Remake Integrate finally coming to Xbox after like fucking, I don't know, 5 years or 6 years, whatever, at this stage. So, like, PlayStation and Sony aren't in a rush to... It's a pity because I don't think there should be exclusives really anymore. It's just a pity that Xbox is no longer doing exclusives based off them being forced to make more money.
And then there was at the end of the Xbox showcase there a couple of weeks ago, the final reveal was Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I did the biggest eye roll. I was like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
And it was a real, it was such a shame because I was enjoying the Xbox showcase. It was one of my favorite, out of the ones that we all watched, like the Summer Games Fest and State of Play, the Xbox showcase I really enjoyed. And I was like, and one final announcement, I was like, here we go. What's Xbox got? What have they got? And it was just a really weird fucking trailer for Call of Duty. And I think they even...
I mean, we say that because no one on this podcast really cares for Call of Duty, but isn't it still one of the biggest selling game franchises?
Yeah, it's pretty big. The new ones do go pretty hard. Like I listen to a couple of podcasts of people who are big Call of Duty heads, and they get really into them whenever new ones come out. But I don't know. It's just it is really big, but it does kind of. Maybe it is specifically because I'm not a Call of Duty head that it sort of smacks of that 70 billion fucking price tag being like.
But it's that thing of like, I know it's Call of Duty, but will Call of Duty make Microsoft or Xbox $70 billion?
Maybe they'll do something with World of Warcraft to bring it in a more positive direction. Although I don't know if they've gotten rid of that CEO. That was really problematic.
No, he's still, as far as I know, still hanging around. Yeah, just hanging around.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they paid $70 billion for Activision Blizzard. It's so funny that was like the strategy behind that was, to poise yourself for exclusive space market, and that causes the collapse of the exclusive space market.
Yeah. Within your own infrastructure, you now have to. Oh shit! Well, we can't do. We need money, so we can't do exclusives.
Completely shot themselves in the foot. Yeah, I'm
Crazy.
now wishing that those antitrust. I still think those antitrust lawsuits were bullshit, but I wish they'd won that we'd never bought it.
Yeah, well, it's just when I think of it now, I wonder, do they even think that in a way? Do you know what I mean? Because like when I think of like there was massive studio acquisitions taking place, but I think Sony was kind of seemed to be focused on not that they were small game developers, but like smaller companies. So like Insomniac, Guerrilla. For Horizon and stuff like that, and they've always had the relationship with Square Enix. Not to say that they're like traditionally exclusive, but they've always had that relationship. But then Microsoft was like, okay, we can acquire as well. But it's like it's Obsidian, it's Bethesda, it's and don't get me wrong, they're great. They're great things to have in the library, but they fucking cost you a lot of fucking money to acquire.
Yeah, I think it was 1 billion, 1.3 billion or something for ZeniMax, which was Bethesda and all that.
Jesus Christ!
Back in the day, that was like 5-6 years ago as well.
Yeah.
That was,
yeah, so they're probably just pushing about they spent $70 billion in their acquisitions. And I'm sure if you probably looked at Sony's, did they even come to a 10th% of that money spent on acquisitions?
And like imagine a world where Xbox didn't buy ZeniMax Bethesda, right? And Bethesda are going to make their next game anyway, which is Starfield. It was going to release on Xbox anyway. Who cares? Like,
yeah,
it's a world that has so little difference from the world we live on now, except Xbox is broke.
Yeah, that's it. Like they're just fucking flat broke, which is so disappointing. Yeah, but at least Gears of War is coming to PlayStation. That's all I'll say on the matter. Cool. Yeah, no, but it is crap. That's like, as they said, 10 to 20% potentially of the current Xbox workforce this week. So hold on to something, as it looks like it's going to be bad. But on other news, the ROG Ally Xbox. Right, now we're talking.
Now we're back in it, baby.
This comes from Yahoo Tech by Rami Tabari. The reason I went for this article was because I heard some talks on the potential cost of this thing. And knowing both of you guys have Steam Decks and you're a bit more aware of kind of the hardware for these kind of things than I would be, I thought it'd be an interesting one to talk about because price-wise, I was kind of blown away by how much this could cost. Xbox cooking up a handheld gaming console became the worst-kept secret in recent months, but the suspected and confirmed ROG Xbox Ally X was finally unveiled during the June 8th Xbox Game Showcase. At first, shoving Xbox in the name didn't sound so innovative. How does it compare to Asus ROG Ally X? An Xbox button alone wouldn't be enough to get people to upgrade, but once we got a closer look, we realized that this isn't just a branded Ally X. This might as well be the ROG Ally X2. Obviously, we don't have hands-on time with the ROG Xbox Ally X, but let's just jump onto how the ROG Ally X and its successor compare from afar. So then it goes into a kind of a big thing about specs, which I didn't want to include in because it was long and a mouthful. But the next part I wanted to go was with pricing and configurations. So we have no idea how much the ROG Xbox Ally X is going to cost, and I'm honestly terrified. Right now, you can get the ROG Ally X for $800 on Asus's website. Apparently, YouTuber leaker X-1S recently suggested that the ROG Xbox Ally would be priced at $800. That'd be sick as hell, but considering the current Ally X price and that the ROG Xbox Ally X features the new AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme 35-watt chipset, I'm not so sure. Apart from the chipset, the rest of the specs are the same though. However, there will be a cheaper model called the ROG Xbox Ally, which is outfitted with the AMD Ryzen Z2A 20W chipset and even offers the same ergonomic boost. The aforementioned leaker suggested this would be priced at $500, which also matches the current price of the base model of the ROG Ally on Asus's website. The difference in specs is there, however, is that the new ROG Xbox Ally sports a 60 WH/H battery versus the original's 40 WH/H battery. And then it goes on to talk about more in the article on design and comfort, but it also mentions the fact that the pricing hasn't been confirmed by Xbox at all at this stage, and rumor says that they're waiting to see what the tariffs do, because the States is still kind of crazy on tariffs. I've been hearing it could be over $1,000 for this.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Xbox can let that happen. I actually think it's going to be like 600.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, $1,000 for a console seems kind of crazy when you compare it to the other consoles. But then, like what the fuck is a new iPhone these days?
Yeah, true.
I mean, like the price for mobile stuff, just I don't know. It's a little out of control.
How much is the PS5 Pro?
PlayStation 5 Pro was $800.
800.
Yeah,
okay.
They can't charge more than that.
I think they could charge 800 for it, but I don't think they could charge more.
How much is the Steam Deck?
$650.
Yeah, I got the.
There's like a few different tiers, but
I got the OLED one for I think $5 something. because I got it the release sale or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, I got it for $550 around.
Bringing it up
I
now.
think. But there are cheap ones. There's like 400 quid ones.
Yeah, you can still buy the LCD for $420.
Yeah. And you can buy them refurbished.
Yeah,
from
512 OLED
Nice.
is $569, and the 1 terabyte OLED is $679. So I'm thinking probably a bit more than that, which I think they can get away with if you can actually play Steam on these. Like people are.
I believe we can. I think it was shown on the actual showcase of the handheld. It looked like it was switching between like a Steam infrastructure and a Xbox infrastructure. Like you could choose between the, what would you call that? Just the gaming models, the platforms, apps. Yeah.
Yeah, and Epic Games throw that in there too.
Yeah, so there's potential for it to be able to do everything that the fans hope it can do, which is like use all those different proprietary stores. But yeah, price point.
I don't think they should be focusing on mobile though.
700 to 800, I reckon. I totally agree. I was actually
Just let Nintendo win that one. Just stop trying to, replicate Nintendo's success.
I was re-listening to the episode we did a couple of weeks ago, and when I was listening to it, I had the thought of like, why haven't Xbox just gone and done what PlayStation did with the Portal? Because Xbox's whole thing, and they've even defended this in court, has been Xbox cloud streaming. Like that's their technology, that's their baby for the past for the past 6, 7, 8 years. They've been like really while Stadia was doing on it, they were working on their cloud streaming thing. How do they not have? How are they not in a position where they can release a mobile platform for like 200, 300 quid and just have all streaming games on it?
Luke, the thing I thought was phenomenally wild was that the PlayStation Portal came out and had first like the first way it existed was that I could just remote play from my PS5.
Yeah.
Big update comes out the following year where it's like, oh, now you have all of these games on our cloud streaming service that you don't even need a PlayStation at all. Just sign up to PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Extra, whatever that thing is, and you can go into cloud gaming and play The Last of Us and play Cyberpunk and whatever other games. Now, I don't quote me on those games being available, but there was a massive selection of games available in PlayStation's cloud service. But when I saw that, I literally said to myself, I was like, I thought that was Xbox's thing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Xbox's thing, and even like Sony took Microsoft to court over Xbox having like completely monopolized the cloud streaming industry, and then Sony releases a cloud streaming device and Xbox doesn't. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what is going on over
there?
I
think that was always Sony being fucking assholes, right?
Well, it was them just, that's the...
Them flexing. Big corporation flexing so it can still be a big corporation.
They were trying to... They were doing business well, apparently. And Xbox is just like, yeah, I don't understand why this isn't a cloud streaming thing. But anyway, it's not. It's a proper device, like it's a proper Steam Deck like device, and the price point, I reckon, between 700 and 800. They definitely can't go above 800. Even if the hardware is worth way more, they'll have to make it a loss leader if they want this to succeed.
How is Xbox ever going to make money again?
Yeah, this is the new Xbox console. Like, I don't know.
I think all the liability is on Asus, isn't it? Isn't it their console?
Well, Xbox,
which is a giant red flag to begin with.
Xbox has made this decision, like they've gone into a partnership.
But isn't this just like the Meta, where they're just like slapping?
Well, no, because
a logo, like they're just providing the software to like access, the Xbox, or game, or.
But they've
Xbox
designed
Live Arcade. I don't know.
Xbox experience around this hardware, so they've designed the OS around it and stuff like that.
So like with the Quest, it wasn't just a simple splash of black on it.
Just building the software, like, because now they're going to be able to put that software in anywhere on PCs, maybe other consoles and stuff.
Yeah.
There's not too much risk for them. It's these manufacturers that are actually building these consoles that like.
There's not much manufacturing risk. That's true. Which is why I think it will end up being a fair bit cheaper than you would expect it to be for the hardware that's in it. Like I think it will be cheaper
not
than
with Asus.
Ally X.
No.
I think
Asus are brutal.
I think Microsoft have the in the same way like Facebook made the MetaQuest, their loss leader, and sold what's ostensibly like $1,000, $1,200 worth of hardware for $300, and have been doing it for like years and years now. I think Microsoft are going to do the same because they need to make this work.
So, excuse my ignorance here. Who's the more expensive of when you talk about? Because we have, like, in terms of the handheld, like we've got Steam Deck. Is it Lenovo do one as well?
Lenovo Legion, yeah.
And the Asus. Who'd be the most expensive of the three?
The Asus, I think.
I think the Asus.
Right.
Lenovo Legion, I think, is around 600.
Steam. I wouldn't be surprised me if Steam is more expensive too, because Steam has always been on the pricier side, but they also they just build shit correctly.
No, Lenovo Legion is around 800 as well.
Oh shit. Okay, not bad.
So
I think they're both more powerful than the Steam Deck, though.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But do they have? So again, excuse my ignorance here, but like Steam, but its own thing with the Steam infrastructure or the Steam library or the Steam shop,
OS.
Steam OS. What do the Lenovo and the Asus
they've
have?
had that in the works for probably over 10 years. They've had this thing called Big Picture Mode.
Yeah.
And
This
that's
is,
been around
Steam,
for,
is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because years ago, Steam was probably the original. What is it called? Like cloud streaming company that pushed for that. They had this thing called Steam Link. This little box you got.
Oh,
and you
yeah, another
connect
one,
it to your TV, and then you put your computer in Big Picture mode, and then you can stream your computer to your TV. They've gotten rid of the Steam Link. They don't make it anymore, but that's because they turned Steam Link into an app. I could just download it on, if you have a Samsung TV, you can just install it.
Wow. Okay.
'Cause TVs are powerful enough to handle that on their own. So, oh god, I can't remember what the point I was trying to make.
I was asking in terms of what do Lenovo and Asus have in terms of Steam has its own proprietary.
Oh yeah. Their
Steam
own
OS.
and everything is pretty much for the Steam ecosystem.
And Lenovo, one of the Lenovo Legions runs the Steam OS. That's the backbone that they use for theirs.
Right.
Another
Okay.
one runs native Windows, and I think the ROG Ally.
I mean,
does
technically,
its own Linux thing.
even a Nintendo Switch could run Steam OS. You remember the first ones? The first generation of Steam, or first generation of Switches, somebody cracked it immediately and just started installing Linux on it. And if you can install Linux, that means you can install Steam OS.
Yeah, Switch 2 will just brick itself now if you try any of that shit.
Somebody will figure
Well, what
it
was
out.
cool
I
was that
guarantee
people found, I was following on the Switch 2 Reddit, people came across developer kit Switch 2s that they turned it on, and when they booted it up, it was that weird, I suppose, developer menu to go into whatever, and they're like, what the hell do I do with this? Do I return it? And people are like, sweet Jesus, don't return that. Modders would fucking go crazy. You talk to people on modder chats, whatever, so you'll be able to sell that for a few bob, because that means that they could probably crack that Switch 2 without it getting bricked, I guess, maybe, potentially.
Hold on to it for a couple of years and it'll be worth thousands.
Sell it, for
Yeah.
sure. You sell it right now, probably for thousands, just because somebody will crack it.
So we are losing potentially, although it's not confirmed yet, but anywhere up to 2,000 people from the Xbox division. But hey, we've got an Xbox coded Quest S3, and we've got an Xbox ROG Ally.
Cool.
It's so weird, man. What they're doing is so weird.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, I'm really struggling.
You hope that there's some greater vision behind it. It felt like there was back in the early days of Game Pass.
So the first year, so I think it's really fallen in the last, I would say the last 2 years. But the first year we did the big three. You, me, and Craig sat down and we talked about who was doing well. I can remember you waxing lyrical about look at Xbox's vision. Guys, in so many years it's going to be like this. And I remember sitting there being like, fuck yeah, Xbox could absolutely they could top Trump here. Do you like that?
They're going to be the cheapest console around. You're going to be able to stream all your games. You just had to pay a subscription every month. You could get a €200 you could get the Xbox Series S and just stream everything to it. It didn't have a lot of memory, but you didn't need a lot of memory because cloud gaming was there. There were cheap options for people with lots of different living backgrounds. That was the vision back then, and it could not have gone more a different direction.
You know what? Somebody's going to beat them to the punch, just like Sony did with cloud gaming.
To the punch of what?
What we were just talking about, the
infrastructure,
the infrastructure idea and the subscription based. Somebody is going to get there first because they keep dragging their heels.
And it's not even they keep dragging their heels, but on their way to getting there, they're just destroying so much of the industry in a sense. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to acquire all these things. We're going to strong arm it. Okay, we've closed all these things. And you're like, oh, sweet Jesus, like, just could you stop doing this part of it and just go and make your vision, but stop wrecking everything else along the way? Like, it's just a really weird...
Putting studios out of business. Again, like talking a big game about their cloud streaming service and then releasing in what we expect to be like an $800 handheld powerhouse of a console to... Like, why? The contradictory goals seem to be just tearing Xbox apart.
Yeah. It's a sad time. And like as a person who, when I was younger, would have been like, I think Sony's better than Xbox, blah, blah, blah. Now I just want everybody to get along. But I am looking at Xbox being like, guys, you can't leave the market because the competition needs to be there. Like, Xbox has existed as a competitor to PlayStation for like essentially my entire time gaming. Do you know what I mean? I had the PlayStation 1, but like they were up against the Nintendo, the SNES and the 64. But ever since PlayStation 2, we've had like the competitor. Do you know what I mean? And that would be shit if they went. But that's it, guys. It's a real happy news month.
Boo.
Yeah. Join us on the Poe Show where we talk about how Halo might not exist and AI generative stuff is going to ruin gaming for everybody.
They're ruining my childhood.
Oh, man. These news episodes, huh? I got to find more good shit. Chris, any final comments?
Nah.
No. Luke, how about you?
Can't wait for the post show.
Yeah, all right, it's going to be good. You want to check out the post show? We're going to talk about more news, be it good or bad or indifferent. Check out patreon.com/the gift of gaming. We're all for the cost of less than a coffee a month. There's a bevy boatload, tons of content there. It would take up so much of time to listen to it. It'd be such a bargain. Like, if you went out right now and got the Patreon and you're like, holy shit, there's over 100 episodes, it's the best time to buy it. It's the best time to subscribe. There's so much stuff for you to catch up on, and that's the sale. That's my sale. That's what I'm
sold.
There you go. Thanks, Luke. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We're going to hop into the post show for more news now. But to our listeners, as always and forever, keep enjoying the gift that is gaming. Peace out.